Our office's engineers report yesterday morning. I'll go down the list here quickly. First is an update on the paving program. I met with Brandon Firestone at PennDOT last week to go over the documents associated with our paving projects. There were a couple files that Brandon still needed to have to be able to give us the approval under the liquid fuels program for those couple of projects. We've since sent them to Brandon, so I would expect that we'll get that approval hopefully as soon as next week, and then we can send out our notice to proceed to our contractor and get that project going.
Is that next week, DJ?
I'm hopeful that'll happen next week, Larry, yeah. Brandon has all his documents now, so we should be good from that standpoint. Last week, Dennis and I reviewed the final version of the co-op agreement with People's Gas for the Gale Drive project. It's my understanding that People's Gas is finalizing that agreement, signing it, and then they'll be sending over a copy for the township to countersign to take care of that item. So that's the update on the paving program. Hopefully we have more progress next week. Next is the Finleyville-Orema sewer project. I talked to Eric Fritz of Lennon Smith on the phone yesterday. Eric filled me in a little bit on their progress as they're making headway here with their design and their Act 537 plan amendment. They intend to present that 537 plan amendment to the Peters Creek Sanitary Authority Board at their July 24th meeting. That's a couple Mondays from now, I think. So at that point, the authority board will review the plan amendment, and if all goes well with their review, I would expect that we'll see that plan amendment here at the township for the supervisors to review as soon as the first meeting in August. That would be the August 3rd meeting. Eric and I talked briefly about scheduling that joint meeting that we talked about before between the Peters Creek board and our board to answer public comments, to review that 537 plan amendment, and hold our public meeting for that. So we talked about doing that right before the second meeting in August for the supervisor board, which would be 12 or so days after on, I think it's August 15th is the date of the second supervisor meeting. So Eric promised me they'll keep us up to speed with how things progress with their board and with the draft amendment being presented to the supervisors. So that's where we're at with that. I have an MS4 update today. I promise it'll be short. We have our June 30th deadline to comply with all of our permit requirements for stormwater has come and gone, as you well know. Our office has completed all of the administrative and field requirements. We've done all of our inspections. We've sent out our educational materials to people in the township. So we feel as if we're at a point now where we're much better now than we were even 2 or 4 months ago regarding our permit compliance status. So we're making a lot of progress. We did provide some content to Diana and the township here to update the stormwater website. Diana did a great job with updating the website, showing all of our stormwater language and all of the details of our stormwater permit. So if you have a chance, the language on there explains the program much better than I could here at these meetings. So I would encourage you to take a look at the website and just I know it'll give you a better sense of what's going on with stormwater in our township. So looking ahead for the rest of the year, we probably won't have a MS4 update at the next meeting. We might have one in August. We'll probably have one in September. We have to compile everything that we've done on the township's behalf and submit it to DEP in an annual report by the end of September. So that's the next deliverable for our office to take care of on the township's behalf. So
did you happen to get any answer to the invoice for the permit?
I emailed DEP, I emailed the our contact with
Just to make the rest of
DEP
the board
twice.
aware, we got an
Yeah.
invoice for $2,500 and said you can partially pay, but I recalled knowing that it was $500 a year, and we couldn't understand, me and Marion couldn't understand why we got a $2,500 invoice.
Yeah, so I did email DEP, my contact over there, twice. We've talked about it before, but these permits are issued on a 5-year basis. So my sense is the annual fee hasn't been paid for the first 4 years.
We're thinking that it hasn't been paid for 4 years.
We're into the final year of this permit period. We'll submit our annual report and then renew in January. But
So Marianne did not feel comfortable paying, not knowing whether or not it was paid before, but I will tell you, I think it's like July 10th is due.
yeah, and I've
Not
asked
that they've been diligent on the last 4 years.
I've asked Lauren Nolfi, who's my DEP contact, to confirm the amount of the invoice and basically make sure we're not overpaying. But I've yet to hear back, so I can give her a phone call tomorrow.
I just don't
Sometimes.
want me or Marianne to forget about it, because we kind of put it on the back burner waiting. There was an H2O thing going too, I think, recently that like it had to do with, MS4 that we weren't sure about.
Yeah, for rural water, I think.
Yes.
So that's where we're at with MS4. It's been a lot of work for our office. It's been a lot of field work, a lot of admin work. But from a permit compliance standpoint, we're in much better standing than we were at the start of the year. So I think that's a good thing. I applaud the board for that. I am working on gathering quotes for Veterans Park right now. I've reached out to 4 fencing contractors, heard back from a couple of them. So I would expect that I'll have those quotes to talk about at our meeting at our next meeting. What's next on the report? Mineral Beach, yeah. So we've gotten some email correspondence from the developer over there. His name's Kevin Braun. Regarding where things stand with the Mineral Beach plan. At this stage, given our collective unfamiliarity with what's going on over there, I think we should schedule a group meeting with Mr. Braun and his consultant so that we can review where things stand related to the approvals, the developer's agreement, the improvements to Walter Long Road, the HOP, things of that nature. So.
Now, Mr. Braun, is he the developer or is he the
He's the developer. He's working with, I believe it's KDH Engineering, which is Chris Ham.
Is that a big outfit, KDH?
I don't know how many people they have working for him. They're in Greensburg.
I'm dealing with him in another township. Same guy, Ham. It always seems like he's anxious to get things done.
Yeah.
And it's some of the stuff he's doing is just outrageous.
I don't know Chris that well, but I know they took this plan over for a previous developer and a previous consultant. So there's been different iterations to this.
Contrary to what Braun said, there is no developer's agreement. No one can show me developer's agreement.
Nothing finalized and executed now. No. But if it's okay with the board, I'd like to open a dialogue with Mr. Braun and try to exchange dates so that we can discuss the specifics with him. I believe, Harold, he's at the point where he's going to soon be requesting grading permits and demolition permits. So I think we need to do a hard look at that history of that plan over there to make sure that everything's taken care of. So is the board okay with me reaching out to him to set that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going daytime?
Yeah, daytime, yeah. Okay, and then last thing on my engineer's report is the Finleyville Airport grading permit. I know we talked about this back in May. I got this mailer from Mr. Tom Reamer. I think the board received the same mailer back in May regarding his concerns over at the airport. We talked about them in May. He's questioning the location of the trench excavation. It's considerably closer, I believe, to the hangar buildings than what was indicated on the grading permit drawings. And he's concerned that the water line was installed in the same trench as the sewer line. Our office presented a letter to the board back in May with some recommendations for how to proceed with dialogue with the airport regarding these concerns and making sure they're sufficiently addressed. I guess I just wanted to bring it back up to the board because I've continued to receive some calls from Mr. Reamer asking if the township's doing anything to pursue this grading permit compliance. And yeah, I guess my question at this point is, have we done anything since then? And would you like Harold or myself or Dennis to reach out to the airport about these grading permit concerns? I included a copy of our letter from, I think it's May 3rd, in the engineer's packet today. Generally speaking, our recommendations are towards the geotechnical stability of the excavation. Their plan drawing states that an engineer will be on site to witness the backfill and the compaction, and that those compaction reports will be sent to the township after completion. I don't think we ever got those. I think we need to communicate with the airport about the deviations from this grading permit and how these issues are going to be resolved.
Do they have
That's my opinion.
Do they have an engineer at the airport?
I don't know, Dennis. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, the engineer who prepared their grading permit application was Chris Ham of KDH. So,
My recommendation
What do you
was,
know?
it's kind of one-stop shop.
was to have, maybe have a TJ and contact the engineer and see what's going on. Does that make sense to everybody?
I know Harold went over up there and back in April, I think, and looked.
Yeah, it somewhat of a report.
Or you gave
What
it.
they- yeah.
So, does everybody agree that we have TJ talk to this? Okay.
You should be talking to him anyway.
I will be.
They don't know what you're doing on the phone.
That's all I have tonight. Thanks, Mr. Paul.
Okay.